Hey y'all, so I have two important things from a dream recall from last night. So the first thing seems to be someone who is in charge of taking things to like a post office, or at least once the packaging and distributing is done. And it could surround some scam, fraudulent sort of thing, because it was definitely a credit card machine. I made a joke about it printing out credit cards as, they're scamming again. In the dream, I made a joke. But the thing was, we were in a legitimate place, like a bank or something, and they were silver credit cards. And I was in the mind that these were like Amex cards. So it felt like, now that I'm talking about it, whatever the operation is, it's legit. But on the side, they're like doing some scamish stuff. So this particular person, the shipping label started to print out because I remember watching them just print, because I get mesmerized by stuff like that. I'm just weird. And some of the labels were starting to peel from the actual backing of the sticky label. So that's how I know that that's what that was, because they were addresses, possibly, because I knew that this was some sort of shipping department or something like that. So once they started getting the labels together or whatever, and these could have possibly been credit cards for people or whatever it was, whoever had the job to take these items, whatever they were, to be delivered, that's what they were supposed to do. But they wound up in a home because I was the person. So I was walking the steps inside of them. They were walking in a home almost. It was almost like one of those railroad type homes. And for those of you who don't know, those are one of those homes that start in the front and they just go straight back. There's really no side to side and on these particular buildings. Anyway, they were going back into like a bedroom area. And I say they because I was them. So, but they were being cornered because I remember looking to, because there were windows along the way, like not a lot, but maybe a little window in this room and a little window in that room, and then you skip a room and there's no window. But then if you know someone's following you, then you look forward to, are they still following me? So when you get to the next room where a window is, you're automatically lasered there to see if there's any movement. So anyway, even getting to the back room where this person was headed, because I figured, if they're supposed to be in charge of taking this to a post office to deliver them, because obviously that would have been the next step, this person's taking these things home. So there were two men kind of following. I say kind of because they were making it seem casual, like, oh, we're not doing anything, but we got our eyes on you because we've been watching you, that sort of thing. And they didn't look like officials or anything like that, like they would have been undercover. They just like somebody that just wanted to come up, like they were about to do a lick or something, because they had been watching or maybe hearing about this person, possibly, even though this person didn't know that anyone knew. So anyway, you guys, what ends up happening, the person is walking back toward, the back of the house or whatever, to their bedroom, possibly to hide these materials or just to put them in safekeeping. So the two men actually gained entry, what looked like they were coming from a top area of the home and coming down into the room just to kind of corner this person. Like they knew exactly where they were going. So they could be familiar with this home as well, meaning they could live there or have been in there or something. They were able to get in. So you have three individuals now standing in a room, and the young lady who was me, but it wasn't me because she didn't look like me. I was just part of the vessel. She didn't panic or anything. She started to get a little intimidated because it feels like she kind of knew what was up, but she didn't want to set off any alarms either. She didn't want to start screaming, yelling, because they were kind of moving in closer and closer. And there was one to the left and one to the right, almost as if they were trying to sandwich her. So what ends up happening is when she even starts to try to make a movement, like nothing like crazy, they kind of move in. So she's able, what happened was able to kind of jump down out of a window, but it was into like like people were sitting down almost as if they were at a restaurant waiting for their meals. It was weird like that. So I don't know what that looks like on someone else's end, but she actually stepped on tables that people were dining in, almost like if you think of like a mall, like a shopping mall. But the levels were very closer to where she could actually step down, like or have to like maneuver herself to swing her legs and then like I'm gonna make this landing, but she would have been safe. She wouldn't have broken anything. I remember there was a lady sitting with her family at one of the tables, but I can't remember what she asked the young lady who was trying to escape. But I feel like my response as a lady, I said, they're trying to kill me or something like that. All right, y'all. So that was that. The next thing was I was in another vessel, what looked like I was at work at a Target or so. It was a really brightly lit kind of store. But it put me in the mind of Target. I've never held a job in Target in my life. I don't even really go to Target like that because I feel like it's overrated. Unless I need something good that I know Walmart doesn't have. But I really don't care for Walmart either. But, it is what it is. Anyway, I was approached by two officers. They had like clear cut, a beautiful badge, not beautiful, but it was really shiny and it let me know that, okay. And the authority, they were tall and, they look like cops. So I'm thinking this is like a very generic kind of thing here, in regards to the meaning of what happened. So we'll keep that in mind. So they approached me and said, I'm sorry for your loss. And me, I'm like, what loss? And then at the same time, it feels like I was on the phone with someone as well because they were trying to give the same sentiment while I was in front of these two officers who just approached me with the same information. So I'm trying to answer both of them at the same time, one by way of phone and one by way of the two officers in front of me. But they both had the same communication. And again, I'm like, what loss? What are you talking about? Because everybody that I know and care for and keep in touch with is accountable. So that let me know this is somebody that you haven't spoken with in a long time. I don't know what a long time is, but you don't keep up with this person. But the weird part is why are they coming to you to tell you this loss or experience of? Oh, and before I forget, and we'll get to that part. Before I forget, I was asked if I had any gainful or willingful employment. So I don't know what sort of situation, when somebody says sorry for your loss and then that question follows up with that. I don't know what that is right now, but I just wanted to throw that out there because I was asked that. Okay, now the other part is with this whole thing of sorry for your loss and then you're like, what loss? I was sitting on the bed this morning before the recording trying to, wrap my head around it. And I was in the energy of the reason why you don't know is because these people are coming to you because your name and your information is on something. So you don't know this person, but they're coming to you as if you're like a close relative, like close. So I don't know the reason for them saying sorry for your loss, like what follows behind that. Like, like how are you going to make arrangements? I don't know what that is, but that just kind of let me know that somebody was messing possibly with your information and what would seem like closely connected to you. So this may have money involved in it because why else would they, be coming to you to tell you this, right? Whew. Okay. I think that was it. I know there's one more thing, you guys. Listen. So this has to do with like a location, maybe possibly inside a home. It's an older person, but there's somebody who we were visiting and we were just kind of, hanging out or whatever. And then we kind of find our way. We navigate back to this home, someone's home. But there's an older gentleman who was part of the scene. And it's something about some popcorn. I don't know what the popcorn had to do with. Maybe they enjoy popcorn or something. We went to this home and I'm asking like, where did he go? Because we're all just hanging out. It's a beautiful night outside and we're inside at this point. I'm like, well, where? And then people are like, the people I was with, they were just kind of motioning without really saying anything. They're like, looking over to the side. So what happened to be an extra like area in the home, but it was, of course, there were walls up, so there were separated rooms. They were saying, oh, he likes to go over there. But it was weird and eerie because I felt the energy of something happened in this particular part of the home. That there was maybe some sort of loss or something happened to them as a child, because it felt like it was their childhood home, but they were much older now. But they seem to always venture to this part of the home, but it's almost as if they're going back to like some sort of scene of a crime and just wanting to be in that room. Like they're being called back there, like summoned there, or maybe there's some sort of healing there, or there's a reason why they go back to this part of the house or home. So I feel the energy surrounding that is they're remorseful for something that took place there, or they never got over something, or something just went horribly wrong in this particular part of the home to where they cannot release themselves from the hurt, the guilt, the pain of what took place. All right, y'all. So that was a dream. There were a few other things, but these three stick out the most. So I wanted to share those with you. And yeah, I hope this helps.